Welcome to the April Anger Cure. This month, Emily and I will be looking at anger in your relationship and what you can do to improve things. Many of the ideas will build on and complement those that we introduced in December 2017 when we explored anger in the family. You may want to revisit these videos. I've found the speaker-listener exercise to be one of the most powerful tools to help couples discuss their differences in a manner that leads to greater understanding and empathy. This in turn helps both partners to seek a solution to the difference. I find it very common frustration that people do not feel heard. This is a particularly common trigger for people with anger issues. You try desperately hard to put your point across in a calm and logical manner, but it just seems the other person doesn't want to listen. The idea behind this exercise is to make sure that the speaker feels both heard and validated before the conversation moves on. Plan a time in your schedule when you have both the time and the space to talk without feeling rushed, stressed or time-bound. I would recommend about 15 to 20 minutes. Any more may feel too much at first. We're going to replace the standard dialogue with a very structured format for your discussion. This will feel hard at first and may be a little awkward. Please persevere. This is a powerful exercise that I and many other couples therapists have used to help many couples overcome their conflicts. So during the discussion, you will play one of two set roles, either the speaker or the listener. Do not move out of these roles until the exercise allows you. So one of you will start as the speaker, the other as the listener. The role of the speaker is to choose a topic that is bothering you and to speak on it for 2 to 3 minutes. Keep to 1 or 2 points to start with and keep it brief. The role of the listener is simply that, to listen without judgment or prejudice. Once the speaker has finished, the listener must reflect back what has just been said. At this point, the listener is not allowed to respond to the points made. The job is surely to hear what is said and reflect it back. If the speaker is happy that they have been fully heard and understood, then you can move on in the discussion and perhaps swap roles. If the speaker does not feel heard, then the exercise continues until they do. So let's have a look at the roles in more detail. The speaker chooses the topic to be discussed. They speak for 2 to 3 minutes, keeping to one main point. It's really important as a speaker that you pick your words carefully so that they don't feel blaming. I recommend using I statements. For example, you come home angry and feel frustrated that your partner has not done the cleaning, despite promising that they would. You worry that they do not value you or your relationship. How would this example normally play out in your household? Perhaps something like this. Me. Damn, you're so lazy, you haven't done the chores again. I'm really mad at you right now. My partner. Don't talk to me like that. You are not so perfect yourself. Me. I ask you to do one little thing and you can't be bothered. And you can see how the fight begins from this very simple start. Sound familiar? I know it happens in my household. When using I statements, we talk purely about what's happening for us. We own our emotion. I talk about I statements in more depth in the module on communication modes in February 2018. You may want to go back and look at that before starting this exercise together. If you remember, I used a very simple formula that an I statement is the situation plus the feeling plus the need. Instead of starting the fight above, I could start the conversation by saying something like, situation. When you don't do the chores as agreed. Feeling. I feel angry and frustrated. It seems like you don't appreciate me. Need. I really need you to stick to our agreement. Is there a reason why you didn't do the chores today? Can you see how this would feel different? Can you see how this may attract a better response from your partner? It's really important that the listener does not feel attacked or blamed. If they do, the exercise will quickly deteriorate into the fight. So the listener role. This role can be really hard at first. You need to separate yourself from your thoughts and feelings temporarily so that you can be 100% attentive to the speaker. You may fail the first couple of times. Don't worry. Keep at it. You will find this remarkably powerful. Imagine the speaker saying something like this. When you don't do the chores as agreed, I feel angry and frustrated. It seems like you don't appreciate me. I really need you to stick to our agreement. Is there a reason why you didn't do the chores today? Your job is purely to reflect this back. It doesn't matter whether you agree with the speaker at this point. As the listener, your only job is to listen and understand. You may say something like this. I hear that you feel angry and frustrated when I don't do the chores. I understand that you feel I don't appreciate you. If you don't understand what's being said, you may ask questions to clarify. But it is important that whilst you are in the listener role, you do not express your feelings or your point of view. Think about how you can validate and empathise with the speaker. Say things like, I can see that you may feel like that. Once the speaker feels heard and understood, you can change roles. In the early days, I would separate the change of roles so that you do one person speaking one day and maybe the one person speaking the following day. This gives you lots of space around the exercise so that you don't get into a fight. Of course, the more used you get to doing this, the more you can structure all your discussions in this way. So in summary, choose who will be the speaker and the listener. The speaker talks for 2 to 3 minutes. If the listener feels able, they reflect back what has been said. If not, they ask clarification questions only. If the speaker feels heard, you can now swap roles. If not, continue as above until they do. As I say, this can be a very difficult exercise, and many couples fail the first 2 or 3 times they try this, but do persevere. This one exercise has been one of the most powerful things that has caused positive movement within my couples work. Over the rest of the month, we're going to bring you a lot more fantastic stuff to help you deal with conflict and anger in your relationship. But for now, give this a try during the week and maybe talk about it or ask questions in the Facebook group. If you're struggling, Emily and I can give you some techniques to help move this along. Good luck, and for now, goodbye.